What is this? Any idea? Operation theater, but what is this? This one. This one is my child. I was working as a bioengineer, and this is a special machine for liver transplantation. It is a very, very complex operation. Why I show you this? Because when I have begun working in the field of bioengineering, there were engineers somewhere designing things. They sent to the operating theater, they was used and came back with a lot of yellow post-it. They changed this, changed it. Paolo, scusa, non avevi spento la registrazione? Paolo? Paolo? La registrazione non l'avevi spenta? Okay. And they were asking modification. Most of the modification were the same that did the day before. So what I told to my boss at that time is that I will go to the States, I will study bioengineering, so I can go myself into the operating theater using the machine, and we will together design the best one. And this is something I learned and I kept for all my life. Another example, who is this guy? That's me. But I am dressed as a postmaster because I have worked with Paolo to design this machine. This is the one used by the postmaster when come to you to give you a letter. And we decided not to design in our laboratory, but to be nominated postmaster and go around the city with the postmasters to learn together with them their problem, their opportunity. This is user-centered design. I don't read all of them, but these are not unusual situations. Usability is sometimes very bad. You find something one night, and the day before you are unable to do the same thing on the same website. Why? Because it's not been designed for the user. It's designed for the programmers. But there is a solution. Archimedes, Eureka, means I have found a solution. And the solution is user-centered design. It's an interactive method that puts the user at the center of all design decisions. This is important. Every word in this phrase is important. Don't laugh, I have to. This is another definition of user-centered design. Some of the slides are very rich in words because when you can read them, we have no time to analyze all of them, but then Paolo will send all of them to you. So the main focus is user in every moment of the design. Which are the user drivers? Again, we must enter in the brain of our user and try to understand what they need. The first driver is needs and wants. The first thing we must reason about is what my user wants to do with my website. Goal, motivation, and trigger. Psychology tells us that the main goal, motivation, and trigger for a person is fear, food, and sex are the three most important motivations. But then there are some obstacles and limitations. People can do whatever they want. They have some limit, and we must know the limit in order to comply with the limit. Then we must understand what they need to do. If you need to buy an airline ticket, I must understand that you must decide a place to leave from, a place to arrive, a day, a maximum cost, and so on. Then you must take in account geography and language. Language, you know very well that are different, but also in geographical area, things are different. I will always remember in my life, I like to make picture, especially when I travel. And I was in a fantastic part of India. It is Kerala, and I was up in the mountain of Kerala. They're beautiful, and they were surprised because they speak a language totally different from. I was with some speaking about the problem of language. I was with some Indian friend from Varanasi, and I needed a battery for my camera, and I told him, "You are Indian, please ask to them this," and he spoke English. I said, "Listen, I know English. Why do you speak English?" Because in Kerala they have a language that I don't even try to understand, but is totally different. And then I learned that it's written in a different ways, absolutely totally different. But in the same travel, one day I have seen a lot of people dressed in white, and so I thought, oh wow, it's a marriage. I will stop and make some picture. And then I learned that in marriage people is colored, and in white is funeral. So I jumped in a funeral making pictures. It is not a very good thing. This is a simple example, but there are a lot of possible differences. So we must take in account geography and culture of our customers. Then there is the environmental problem. Using a computer when you are home in the night drinking a whiskey is different than using when you are in a taxi and you try to change your flight because you are late. And we must take in account this. And then there is time of life and experience. Can you imagine who is that lady? She's my daughter, and she's the day of graduation. And imagine me, believe me, I have graduated here 100 million, yeah, a lot of people. But your daughter is different. I was a little, say, it's a surprising thing. But just to say that there is two different moments in the life. I am old and professor. My daughter is very young and was a student, but I will be even more older. So when we design something, that's not me, design something, we must take in account the life situation, the life experience of a person. For instance, an important problem is to understand if a person traveled a lot or not, because the mentality changes a lot. When you go around the world, your mentality changes. So when we begin design or analyze a website, and Paolo, I think, showed you some work last time and you will go on, we use personas. Personas come from the Greek dramatis personas. Personas are the actor in a theater masterpiece of theater. And we use personas to imagine how will be the people that will use our system. The personas is the beginning of everything. If you are for instance, designing a website for meteo, for climate condition, you must understand if you are designing for yourself and your friends in order to see how will be the weather next Sunday and decide if you go to the mountain or not, or if you design a weather system for airline pilots, that they need to know a lot more of things and in a different way. They don't care about the sun, they care about the situation. But that's normal. Everybody has different personas, has different. Why we use personas? We use personas to be concentrated on the solution you want to build and to having the possibility of discussing in group. You know, normally what I do, I put the personas on the wall and people discuss selling personas, people in this situation, what will do. So you have a way of explaining things. Well, that's already. Personas should be imaginary friends. Don't take real people, because real people are very static. Personas must be a little elastic, be provided. And are the design tools. You must be very careful because two types of personas are used. The personas used by marketing people and the personas by user interface people. And these are the difference. I don't stay to read all of them, but if I make a marketing website and they want to sell soap, I can say, oh, this persona prefer the shower, this one prefer the bedroom, or they do it in the morning or in the night. We don't care. If we build, we want to sell soap, for instance, we must know if the personas will use a credit card or not. This is the main content of persona, and they leave to you to read. At least you need a name, you need a picture, a description, and they want to do in your site. This is the minimum of personas. But you will see much better these things with Paolo when we will speak about how to build the persona. This is an example of persona. Some suggestion is to start with brainstorming and keep in mind people you know, but don't use people you know. Build the personas. You know mind mapping? Mind mapping is something you should absolutely get into and use it. It's a very important way and very easy way to put down idea. You can make a persona's description, but then you should build down an empathy map of the persona. Empathy map means what he hear, what he see, what he think, what they say do, and which are the pain and which are the gain. We spoke about the airline ticket. The pain can be very expensive. The gain is a very good price. And that's an example of empathy map. I leave to you to look. There's another example, it can be simple or complex. To reference, I strongly suggest to you to go and have a look. Do you know this poetry of Rudyard Kipling? You know Kipling? Rudyard Kipling was a British person. He lived in India for almost all his life, and he got a lot from the, say, Buddhist way of living of India. And this is a very important thing, is a way of thinking that makes reason more easy and more fluid. And he wrote this poetry. I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what, why, when, how, where, and who. These are the elements of our work. So 5W and 1H. Why, how, who, where, what. Describe in a good way a task. If you think about, with all this information, you understand what people want to do in your pages. We must also try to understand the goal of our person. They have some user goal. I don't read all of them, but you understand. But there are also some non-user goals. Corporate, technical. One non-user goal is, I do not want to spend to build this site more than this money. This is not a user goal. This is a non-user goal. Once we have built up the personas, we must write down the task. Task is described here, but it's very simple. Task is as type of user. So as airline customer, I want to travel to India so that I can spend less than 700 euro and fly business class. Difficult. But you understand? So personas and then the task. But the task can be, I want to enroll to the examination in the Politecnico the 6th of November. This is an example of task. All this you can have a look, but it's not so important. This is very important. You must always understand the problem before solving it. A lot of people begin working in the solution of the problem without having analyzed the problem. Problem solving must always come after problem setting. Is clear? The other thing we must take in account is that we are not the customer in most of the time. So we should think to be not the one that has idea, but we are the one that takes idea from our customer, sort of midwives that takes the children to grow up, but the children is in the mother, is not yours. This is a very important rule coming from engineering. If something in a project is not written down, does not exist. You must write down. Maybe simple notes, but everything must be in a piece of paper or software, but whatever. Why? Because we must work to put order in the chaos. You know, order is an important thing, and our system should work from system requirement to business requirement, stressing user requirement to make an ordered approach to the system. You can have a look to this, but it's not so important. Wikipedia has a very good voice about task. Read it. There is the link. These are user case I leave to you. The benefit is I can. Okay, this is a classical example of user case. User case can be drawn like this. You know, the chef, the customer, the client, you tell what they do and how they manage the information between each other. It's a sort of Matryoshka logic. So the tasks are a group of activity. And this is the important task matrix, say, table, but I will leave to Paolo when he will explain to you.